The F50 is built for speed, shaped for power, and made for the big stage. And where bigger than the Big Apple? 12 teams of the world's greatest sailors take to the Hudson River with everything to play for.
Oh my word, this is so tight.
Who will grab the opportunity?
What a moment.
Who will let glory slip away?
No, and there's a massive incident.
If you can win here, you can win anywhere. So who will take the throne in New York City?
Waves crash underneath, sound like thunder speaking. Flying carbon machines, driven by the world's best, yes. Powered by nature, raw passion, all action. When it takes, racing on water, racing with impact. Give it all, everything, give it all, everything. We are racing. When it takes, we are SailGP.
The eastern seaboard of the United States is lined with major metropolitan cities up and down the coast, but none shines brighter than the Big Apple. And for the fourth time in league history, SailGP takes on the city that never sleeps. With Manhattan as a backdrop, the East and Hudson Rivers come together to form an extremely dynamic race course for the world's best sailors. Welcome to New York City. The media center of the world now becomes the focal point of the sailing world this weekend as the 12 international teams are primed and ready to take on this complex course under the watchful eye of the Statue of Liberty. After a challenging first day of competition where just craning the boats into the water became a challenge, the states are ready to go on a Super Sunday, with the overall event title completely up for grabs. This penultimate stop in North America will set the stage for a potential title run when the season wraps in November. Alongside Olympian Stevie Morrison and former Emirates GBR athlete Hannah Diamond, I'm Todd Harris. This is the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix. After this weekend's showdown on the Hudson, it's a return visit to Halifax, Canada. The league then heads to Europe for the Summer Slam Quartet with events in the United Kingdom, Germany, Spain, and Switzerland. The last two events of the 2026 season are scheduled for the Middle East, with the grand finale slated for Abu Dhabi. After an amazing last event on the Great Sound in Bermuda, it's three-time champion Bonds Flying Ruse of Australia with a 10-point lead over last year's champions, Emirates GBR, and Season 4 winners and defending New York City event champions Los Gallos Spain in third. The U.S. SailGP team resides just outside the top three, with DS Team France rounding out the top five. Germany Deutsche Bank and new team Artemis are next. Then it's Red Bull Italy, Rockwell Racing, and North Star Canada in 10th. Before we go racing on Super Sunday, let's recap a unique first day of racing in New York. Day one of the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix saw strong winds on the Hudson River. SailGP's launch protocols kicked in, with checks and safeguards to keep operations safe before racing even begins. With this, the 4 F50s were launched within the boundaries of the protocol. The Bonds Flying Ruse nosedived in warm-up.
They get really high there.
Unfortunately, we did a lot of damage to the boat and we weren't able to fix it in time to get any racing.
That's not good news for the Bonds Flying Rue boat.
3 F50s lined up in the Big Apple, reaching speeds of over 100 kilometers per hour. Now look at that, sailing and floating high.
Oh, that wing sheet's... Oh no! Get some heel on there, big heel, rudder pops out. Wing super tight, look at the heel they get on board the boat there. Big save on the wheel by Fletcher.
And they will make it 2 out of 3 wins here on day number 1.
Oh, the goggles off.
The race committee made the call. Day 1 results won't count. Scoring starts today with everything counting toward the 2026 Rolex SailGP Championship standings.
Well, yeah, of course, after yesterday's missed racing, we're going to come back out today, full fleet on the water out here in New York for the fans on the shoreline. So it should be great action for everyone watching it, and we're going to see some really nice racing. Here we go. What do we got for our store today? Well, we've got 3 races for all the boats. We need 3 if we can get to a big final race here in New York. So it's 10 points if you win a race, 9 if you're second, all the way down to 1 point for the 10th place boat. You've got to accumulate points, and after those 3 races, we're going to get a winner-takes-all final here in New York.
It's a very different day on this city racecourse in New York today, with the wind direction being much further round to the left. The wind will be coming over the Statue of Liberty and towards the fans on Governor's Island, meaning gusty and shifty conditions. we will have some pretty strong tide coming out of the Hudson and East River, impacting how teams can line up to approach the start line and making it harder to find the ley lines for the gate marks. Getting a good result on the board early in the day will be crucial, as it could be really tough to work back up through the fleet.
So 12 international teams are set to do battle on the Hudson River here in New York City as we get ready to go racing here on Super Sunday, day one of the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix, part of the Rolex SailGP Championship. Right now we check in with the fourth member of our team, Olympic silver medalist down on the water. Here's Lisa Darmanin.
It's looking like a fantastic day for racing out here in New York. We've got F50s foiling around. Conditions-wise, we have 15km/h winds gusting up to 30km/h. There's a little bit of current moving around, but nothing the sailors can't handle with this much wind speed, but it could affect the starts. Configuration-wise, we have the light air foils in. We've also got the light air rudders at the back, so plenty of lift under the water. In the air, we have the big 27.5-metre wing. At the front, we've got the large jib as well. So plenty of power. With this setup, the teams are limited to just 5 people on board, so the solo grinders up the front have plenty on. There have been a few technical issues in the warm-up laps. The Bonds Flying Roos hit some debris, so they've been trying to fix that, doing their first practice start now. And the Spanish right now, they've got the tech team with them trying to fix some issues on board, so fingers crossed they can both make the start.
Lisa, much more from you as the day progresses. We are under 4.5 minutes to go before the start of race number 1. There are the teams out there on the course getting an opportunity. And Stevie, this was the moment earlier today. The Bonds Flying Roos out there, and as Lisa alluded to, hitting something in the Hudson River. And let's take a look at this.
Yeah, you can just see back right-hand corner there. You see that rudder, and it starts to wobble around a bit. Of course, the carbon's strong, but it's not that strong, Hannah.
No, and I think for these teams, they've got such little time to get going on the racecourse today. They would have been using every single minute there. So hopefully they can get the tech team on board, get that boat fixed, and get back into racing.
You see Slingsby there. He gets thrown back left-hand side of our screen. He'll have taken a little bit of a bump on that. There you go. He's grabbed that. But it's pretty hard on board, just shaking on board the boat. They won't have seen it under the water. It won't need to be very big. Something pretty small, but yeah, just uncontrollable for the Aussies. Frustrating, but we can see right now that they are back up and foiling out there on the racecourse.
All right, so that is the good news. Lisa Darmanin will keep her eye on that. Also, Spain is also having some issues that they're trying to sort out as well. Before we go racing, we had an opportunity prior to the start of today's racing to talk with some of the sailors before they made them well out on the water. And here is American Anna Weiss giving her a perception of what will happen today on the Hudson.
And a super interesting day, should we say, yesterday. How was it from your perspective?
Yeah, super interesting. Definitely played the waiting game for the entire day and was able to get out last minute. I think anytime there's an opportunity to get on the water in SailGP, it's a good opportunity. And you know, even though the points didn't count, it was still nice to be on the water, and taking that into today, even though it's different conditions, it's nice that we were able to get our feet wet.
You know, you got out there, but it was pretty heavy conditions, so there's that risk versus reward. Did you know there wasn't going to be points for the season, or was it just get that boat on the water and try to do some racing?
Yeah, I mean, we weren't sure exactly what was going to happen, but we were racing like there were points on the line, and you know, coming away from the day, we thought we were going to have 2 points on the board, but it seems like today's a fresh start, and that's okay. We're ready for the day and to give it our all.
Completely different conditions today. What's the strategy?
Yeah, I mean, you know, looking at the big wing and probably either 4 or 5 up, and historically that's been more of a strength with our team, and so I think we're taking that confidence into the racing, and it's awesome that we're here at home and we're able to do that.
4 up is a pretty tough day for you. Did you eat your breakfast?
Yes, I ate my breakfast, had the carbs. I'm ready to grind hard.
So, Stevie, did the league make the right call in not counting those points from yesterday?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it was really unfortunate. We had the breeze, the craning in was difficult. We had to be careful with that. And then, you know, we got some action on the water, but it was pretty unfair for the teams that weren't out there. So we got good breeze today. It's going to be some good racing. So it'll give all the teams a chance to have a fair fight, and we're going to get the best team winning here.
Yeah, that's right. But I think the emphasis is going to be slightly different today because it's just 3 races if you want to make the finals. So pressure is on for this first race of the day.
So a slight delay on the course, which will back things up now to 3 minutes and 20 seconds, which gives us an opportunity to talk about the teams that are out there. And it looks like it is Spain, Los Gallos. They are the defending champions of this event the last time we were in New York City, and they were having some hydraulic issues. So it's worth taking the 2 minutes, Han and Stevie, to get them out on there, and obviously not being able to race on Friday. So now they're working out of the bugs.
Yeah, they've got to get these gremlins out. Obviously, hopefully that will happen sooner rather than later. But we want as many boats as possible at the start, make it fair. But yes, as Hannah said, we need 3 races. Otherwise, it's going to be really too tight on the points to get to a final here in New York. So we want to get the racing up and running pretty soon, because I think we've all been waiting long enough.
I don't want to plant the spirit of conspiracy here, Hannah, but the way they raced yesterday, this could be some sabotage around the docks. So they keep the eye on these boats, because they were racing so well yesterday in the 3 races they got in.
Yeah, and of course the Spanish were the winners here last year, so they'll definitely be looking to repeat the same this year. But I think it's a completely different day to yesterday. Much lighter winds, quite a strong tidal effect on the course, so it's not going to be the easiest day out there for anyone on board these boats.
I think as well, Todd, the Spanish have looked so strong since they got into the final in the second event of the season out in Auckland. Since then, they've just looked really, really good in all conditions, and this kind of breeze really plays to their strengths. This is a team that's got a bit of work to do, though. Had a couple of tricky ones.
All kidding aside, guys, these are equally prepared boats, and obviously there's no sabotage, but Hannah, these things happen, and these are such tactical crafts, these F50s, and little things can go on, a little bit of wiring, a pinch cable, something can throw them off, and then it's a little more technical than just jumping in there with an Allen wrench.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The level of electronics and hydraulics in these boats is really, really high level. So there's specialists who are out on the water fixing the boats. I think it'll be interesting to see here, with that 2 minute delay, we might see some of the teams feel a little bit out of position. So that jostling we see before the start line, you might see a couple of teams feel as though they're a little bit under pressure to get back into position and line up nicely for this start.
So we're going to 90 seconds to go before the start of race number 1. There you see the Bonds Flying Roos, the overall leaders, looking to make it 3 in a row. Red Bull Italy, the bottom of your screen, and Mubadala Brazil. Remember, they got their first race win here in New York City last year.
Really good breeze on the racetrack, but we can see these different colours on the course. Big gusts out there. There's plenty to play for all the teams.
1 minute.
And that means we are 1 minute away from the first race. We are scheduled for 3 fleet races here at the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix, part of the Rolex SailGP Championship. No official racing yesterday, so it's all to play for on Super Sunday.
First team to turn back at the back there is the Swiss. They're trying to set up control at this position. GBR at the bottom of the line, coming in late. They'll be trying to pick their gap. 36 seconds to go. Germany well positioned, leading the teams in. Canfield, the USA, towards the bottom end of the line. Such a clinical starter all the time. Rolex pole predicts is up on top of the Canadian wing there. Can they execute from here? It's going to be tight at the top for them. Germany are early back. The Swiss in the middle of the line, well positioned. Emirates GBR well positioned. Can Slingsby come through from the bottom? He's a long, long way back at the moment. We've got to watch for the timing. Middle of the line's favoured right now. Emirates GBR perfectly positioned. Time to wind it up in the middle there. Denmark winds it up. France winds it up. We're looking for the line to turn white. Who's got it right? Oh, Emirates GBR, beautiful. Canfield at the bottom of the line. He did sneak through. He's on the inside, but can Emirates GBR roll over the top with a faster angle to mark 1?
This is the umpire's early start penalty, Germany.
So inside the Emirates umpire studio, it's an early penalty start for Germany. Deutsche Bank, that will cost them. There you see Lady Liberty on the inside line, but it's Emirates GBR. Dylan Fletcher out in front. They currently sit in second place overall, 10 points behind the Bonds Flying Roos.
Well, they struggled to get off the line at the last few events, Emirates GBR, but that's a brilliant start. Bonds Flying Roos are out the back, so it's a bit of a change of fortune right now. Swiss, a good start. DS Automobile France, a good start as well. But first boats here, Hannah Mills, she goes down to look at gate 2, and they're stretching out to the boundary.
Board down.
Beautiful view of Governor's Island there, the southern tip of Manhattan. Scheduled for 3 races today, and then the event finally. There's Emirates GBR out in front. They are the defending champions from season 5, and they are looking to make up some ground on the Bonds Flying Roos right now. They sit in first place with the Bonds Flying Roos mired back in the pack.
So that is a bit biased the other way, but
Really good manoeuvre by Emirates GBR there. They've stretched out nearly 50, 60 metres on that first manoeuvre. They're lining up a left turn. We're going to learn which side of the course favoured here, because I don't know if the French can get down to it. Oh, they're sneaking down. They're going to be very slow on board the French boat. Big gain for the British here. And first boat to split away looks like being the Swiss team. Explorer Swiss are going to take the right turn. Will that be the right choice?
Oh, here comes Phil Robertson and Red Bull Italy on the outside.
Got to give them room until they're round the mark, Todd. But as soon as they pass the mark, then Swiss have got to keep clear of the Italians.
Flag it. Flag it.
So tight. The Italians think they got the right way. Forces the Swiss out of the way.
And a touch.
Looked clean to me, but it could be interesting to see if that was deemed a penalty.
This is the umpire's penalty Switzerland.
Oh, it was.
One angle.
Just too slow reacting then.
Italy.
Got them. Got them. Copy.
So Phil Robertson, Italy, will take that position. The Swiss will have to drop back. Tough break early on for Sebastian Schneider and his crew.
I've just hit
I think we can start to see what the course is laying up like here. Massive gain to Emirates GBR by taking that left turn. They're essentially sailing against the tide, so they're running now as they're coming back across the course more towards the middle, running with the tide. And I think that's going to be a theme of the day at the moment, if this leg's anything to play by.
There we go, right-hand corner. We see the Italians. They've got to give room until they clear the mark, and then as soon as they're around the mark and they're still alongside the Swiss boat, the Swiss were just slow reacting there. You could still feel Robertson had to react and turn away. Big gain here as well. Artemis Racing, they took the left turn at the bottom there. That Artemis team with Nathan Outridge on board, but he loves a shifty day, and it's their chance to really make some impact on the league.
Coming up on gate number 3, it is still Emirates GBR with more than a 200-meter lead over the US SailGP team in second place with Taylor Canfield. Here comes Quentin Delapierre and the French. DS Team France sitting in third place on the bottom of the course.
As soon as you're out in front like this British team, they can keep it pretty simple around the course. Further back in the fleet, it's going to be easy to fall off the foils in a manoeuvre. We see the French and the USA team are very, very slow. It's going to open another opportunity for Artemis. They're going to stretch wide, coming into the next gate faster than these two boats, I'd imagine.
We quite often say that you can afford to have one bad race, but you can't afford to have two. I think with it being such a compressed format today, you can't afford to have one. So the Bonds Flying Roos are really going to have to climb up the fleet if they want to maintain their position at the top of the leaderboard by getting into the final.
Quentin Delapierre at the last moment decides to veer away. The USA will opt for that right-hand side. We'll take it down on the water here on leg 4 of 7 in race number 1 with Lisa Darman. And Lisa, where is the favored side here on the Hudson today?
Oh, it's so gusty out here, Todd. I think it's hard to call. In general, the breeze has been looking better on the left-hand side, away from Lady Liberty, but you saw the gain that Emirates Great Britain got. I mean, being out in front gives you the opportunity to link the gusts together, and I think linking together and staying on the foils is going to be the key today.
Lisa, while we have you still, is this a race where if you have the lead at mark number 1, it's your race to lose, or are there options and possibilities to make passes out here?
I mean, there is opportunity. It depends how close it is. But, you know, right now, Emirates Great Britain out in front with that big wing, they're just sailing away. I think they did everything right. So, I mean, it's tough to call. There is overtaking lanes, but yeah, if you're out in front, it is yours to lose because you got first call on where you want to go.
I just think they executed a brilliant first manoeuvre after Mark 1. That stretched them out, and then they were quick at gate 2. So easy work for the British, really. Back in the pack, definitely Artemis are the big movers. They're up to 4th, but they're moving. They've got good breeze there on the racetrack. France picked up a penalty earlier, so potentially it could be another gain for the Swedish team. But like Hannah says, points are so crucial with just 3 races to gather your points.
Let's point out that the Spanish, who won this event and won 2 practice races yesterday, still unable to go as they're working out some hydraulic issues. Of course, New Zealand, their boat's not prepared yet. We'll see them in Halifax in the next event on June 20th and 21st. And the Bonds Flying Roos pick up another penalty, so they are literally mired in the very back of the pack. And Stevie and Hannah, I just wonder, quick math, even if you win, let's say races 2 and 3, and you finish 11th, so no points, can you get into the final on 20 points?
It's so subjective because it depends what everyone else manages to do, and we've seen the fleet so tight now. Consistency is really, really hard to achieve, so we'll find that out after the 3 races, but what is for sure is you don't want to be back there if you can avoid it.
Good battle here again between Explorer Swiss and Red Bull Italy, and this time Phil Robertson gets the inside line. Seb Schneider stays very wide.
Brits real soft.
So that's Chris Draper, wing trimmer on board Artemis. He's saying the British have found themselves in quite light wind. I think that was when they were down in that bottom corner after their right turn. They've stretched out now. They've got themselves back in the breeze. So they might have lost a little distance, but they should have control of things now.
It's not going to get you. No, right. That's it. Going. There we go.
Doesn't look super easy conditions to sail the boat. You can see just touching that right-hand hull down there, but then lifting back up again. Lou Parkinson, one of the best flight controllers in the fleet, but you can just see how the water's moving underneath the boat there. Keeping that stability is going to be really important.
Yeah, and we're looking at the Oracle Cloud here. We've got a new graphic. We've got the stability graphic. That graph, the smoother that line can be, the better the flight control. And Parkinson's pretty much got it in a straight line. It's going to wobble through a manoeuvre, that goes without saying. But 93% accuracy, that's pretty impressive by the Brits. But again, it's so much easier when you're out in front.
How does the dynamic change as you look at your old team out there, Hannah Diamond, Emirates GBR out in front with a massive lead? Remember, there's one less sailor on board as we've dropped down to 5 people on board.
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously lacking a lot of power at the front when that grinder steps off to sail with 5 people, but it's all about how you kind of rejig the rolls on board. The rolls are super busy, and it's really important to be adaptable to these conditions. This is actually a configuration we've had quite a few times this season, and actually for the US, it seems to play to their strengths with keeping Anna Weiss where she is forwards without having this kind of strategist right at the back. So I'd expect to see them kind of perform well in these conditions.
Stevie, yesterday, obviously, we talked about the craning situation, getting boats in and being able to get some time on the water, and it was just Spain, the US SailGP team, and Emirates GBR. How much of that do you attribute to the way Emirates is sailing today? Because the last couple of events, they have not been at their best, but today they look like the old Emirates GBR.
Yeah, I mean, it can't have hurt to be out there and got a bit of time in the boat, but equally it's a totally different configuration. I think they probably had to do a lot of work between events, analyse what they were doing wrong. The starting wasn't great. He had a brilliant start in that race. Canfield's been the main starter at this so far this season. The US team have been incredible off the start line, so potentially they've been looking into what the USA team's been doing in the starts.
I think we're rolling them here. Slow turn. Yeah, you're well, like that. Staying on 4 for a minute.
You see Emirates GBR way out in front. It'll be around this next turn, and then it'll be a straight shot to the finish line as they will claim the victory in race number 1. Remember, just 3 fleet races a day, and then only the top 3 teams on points will race in the event final. As they come to the line just off the tip of Governor's Island, race number 1 in New York City goes the way of Emirates GBR.
I mean, that's such a good start to the event with just 3 races out here today. If you're going to make that final, absolutely crucial points. And the French team, the left-hand side of our screen, they've made a nice downwind, moved ahead of Artemis here, so good work by Quentin de la Pierre. And of course, they've got a new wing trimmer on board there. They got Enzo Belanger, I hope I pronounced that right, but he's come in. He's a young sailor, real superstar of the future, I think, but some job to step in board. First for Opera Racing, and he's battling it out right near the front.
How about the Americans giving the hometown crowd a big moment to cheer for with Lady Liberty looking on. The Stars and Stripes come across with a big second-place finish in race 1, and now the battle is on for the points. Looks like Artemis has moved over the French, so it'll be Artemis that's going to grab 3rd.
Yeah, France just had to do 2 manoeuvres at the bottom, so big game by Artemis.
This is the umpires. Penalty Switzerland. Port tack boat not keeping clear. Go behind Italy.
Ooh, again, all race long.
Yeah, that's just been non-stop, hasn't it? And they're going to have to drop back here, the Swiss. They fall off the foils. The Italian team will move through, so this point could be crucial when we're thinking about adding things up in the race to the final.
It's like North Star Canada's going to hold on for 5th.
Yeah, all the boats here, 4th, 5th, 6th, you'd take that in the first race here, because that puts you in the fight for the rest of the day.
So 1 race is complete, and it's Emirates GBR that gets the win. It'll be Mubadala, Brazil, that finishes in 8th place, as we are able to go down on the water now with the winners of race number 1 here on Super Sunday. Emirates GBR gets the win as we take a look at the rest of the boats coming in with 2 more races still to go. Check in with Dylan Fletcher. Dylan, great race for you guys. Great way to start today. Obviously, the conditions much different than you had yesterday.
Yeah, very different config, but great to have some great breeze on the Hudson and some solid racing. I guess we also got to wish support Lamb in the booth. It's his birthday today, so yeah, that one was for him.
That's good work. Dylan, clearly in between events you've been looking at your starting. Brilliant start there. What have you changed?
Yeah, I think just some marginal details. I think that we've not been happy the way we've been performing the last couple of events. So, yeah, nice to have a solid one, but we need another few races to keep backing it up, and hopefully we'll be getting that final.
Dylan, appreciate the time. We wish you the best of luck here in race number 2 coming up shortly. So Emirates GBR strikes first as we go back and take a look at the start of race number 1 here in New York City.
And it was Germany Deutsche Bank who led the fleet back towards the line. Don't forget we have that tide pushing left to right, so potentially pushing them a little bit closer than they were hoping to get. That opened the door for those at the bottom of the line where US and Emirates GBR were really leading the fleet on their way to Mark 1. A perfectly timed maneuver close to the boundary for Emirates GBR. Really nicely executed, allowed them to choose the left gate turn at the bottom. And then it was interesting to see how the pack formed after that. There was a little bit of traffic for those boats which chose to take a right turn, which really condensed the middle of the pack and allowed the front to stretch their legs a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's the story, isn't it? Is how do you find space when you're further back in the fleet, and how do you make those overtakes? And I think Artemis, left-hand side of the screen there, they were the big movers, way out the back at the bottom of the course first time round, but they found that space, worked their way through, all the way up through the fleet. Very impressive by the Swedish.
Well, some more information that'll make the hometown fans very happy as Emirates GBR gets the win, but the Emirates fly time goes the way of US SailGP team. Taylor Canfield and his crew going 96.8% on some tricky conditions out there with the current and the wind, and they keep it up on the foils for nearly 100% time of that race, 7 full legs. Well, we're just getting started here in abbreviated Super Sunday, day number 1 of the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix, part of the Rolex SailGP Championship. We expect much more high drama on the Hudson.
Mubadala and SailGP making waves together.
The Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix is back in town, and not only do we have fast racing against an iconic skyline, but we've got our SailGP Inspire program here in New York. What we're doing here is giving young people the chance to get out on the water, experience what it's like to be foiling for the first time.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to give you guys a chance to get out. We're going to tow you behind the boat, and you're actually going to get to fly.
There are so many parts of sailing that are out of reach, metaphorically and physically, for kids. So wing foiling is such an awesome way to connect with youth and different types of people. It's such a cool version of our sport that is actually accessible for the average person.
The F1 of sailing is connecting with young kids or young people to bring new sailors into the sport. Because we're able to bring this out to the world and introduce it to people, it just kind of shows like, hey, you don't have to be like super scared of this stuff, and like there's ways for everyone to get involved in it one way or another.
So far to date with our global partner Mubadala, we have managed to engage over 37,000 young people in our programming through innovation-led learning and on-water experiences. Not only do we have on the water here in Oyster Bay, but we're heading into the city with STEM City. We're going to have over 500 young people coming to try hands-on learning experiences that break down the science between how our boats fly and why they can go so fast out there on that New York water.
Getting these opportunities through SailGP Inspire really shows you that nothing is impossible, and there's always more to anything you do. With SailGP Inspire, it feels good to get these kids, get them involved in sailing and the science behind sailing, and it's really cool to know all of this. Each one of these amazing athletes here started somewhere at one point, and it's cool to know that that could be me one day.
Mubadala and SailGP making waves together.
Waves crash underneath, sound like thunder speaking. Flying carbon machines, driven by the world's best. Yes, powered by nature, powered by nature. We are SailGP.
Back in New York City here in the 2026 season of SailGP. This is event number 6, the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix. Race number 1 went the way of the defending season champions, Emirates GBR, with the USA finishing in 2nd and Artemis finishing in 3rd. And now just 1 minute away from the start of race number 2. We're scheduled for 3. Hannah, this is a great opportunity for someone to reach up, and especially if you're in the top 3 of the last race, to reach up and take control of this thing.
Yeah, that's right, but I think there's no room for error here. With just 2 more races to decide the competitors for the final, you have to be trying to get to the front of the fleet in every one of these races. And this lineup here is going to be a big factor in that.
As you can see in the distance, Spain, Los Gallos, they're both still not working, having hydraulic issues. Stevie, that's going to pretty much do them in, even if they get into race number 3.
Yeah, I mean, they won't be able to make the final, will they, Todd? So big shame for them. But we look now at the start line here, and it's tight. We saw how important that start was. Left-hand side of screen, the French, they're way out the back. Are they going to be able to find a way through from there? I don't see it myself. Canfield, he's way out the back as well, looking to find a gap down the line. North Star Canada well positioned. The Bonds Flying Rouge, they put it down in the water, slow the boat up, but they're well positioned at the moment. USA are going to come through fast at the bottom of the line. Beautiful timing by Canfield. Has he got it right? Perfect by the US team, up and foiling bottom of the line. They're going to be gone on their way to Mark 1.
This is the umpire's penalty. Denmark go behind Sweden.
Just a bit of a boat-on-boat incident there in the middle of the pack. It's not going to affect the leaders at Mark 1. Brazil coming in hot over the top. Could be a good rounding for them. They can get themselves right in the game if they can stick this from here. USA, brilliant start from Canfield. They'll be able to stretch away. They've been so consistent this season in that start box. Brilliant work by the US team.
Here come the Bonds Flying Rouge at mark number 1. It is US SailGP in the lead. Mubadala, Brazil, with Martini Grail at the wheel, finish in 2nd place. And in 3rd, it is Red Bull Italy with Phil Robertson, and Explorer Swiss round out your top 4.
And go aboard. Well, here we go. We watch this first manoeuvre by the US team. They'll be looking to execute a good one.
I think we go straight here.
I think the thing that caught my eye from this first leg to Mark 1 was last place was Emirates GBR. Look at that left-hand side of our screen. They won the first race. It just shows you how tight it is.
Coming quick. Yeah, touch your rudders off ones. All good here.
Oh, it looks like a little splashdown on the US there. Don't think it'll be enough for the Brazilians to get close to them, but you've got to be executing all these maneuvers so well here.
Got a quartet right there, right behind the Brazilians. It'll be Red Bull Italy. Phil Robertson decides to turn away and try the other side. Explorer Swiss will go with him, as will North Star Canada and Giles Scott.
Building. Hey there, Andre.
North Star are going to go around the outside. Can they get alongside the Swiss and force them off? They can't. North Star just choose to keep it fast, but it's going to be hard. Disturbed wind from the boat in front of them there. But they'll be looking to get as close to boundary as they can to make the top of the course easy.
To boundary. Just going to follow them here. High mode here. High mode. 8. Still got nothing here. Okay. Stand by.
Right-hand side of screen, Todd. The Swedish team are off the foils.
Yep.
They were in the pack and they've had a bad manoeuvre there. They've fallen off the foils. Massive rebuild. That's going to put them way towards the back.
Yeah. Okay, press it down.
Right, the Aussies from nowhere. Look at that.
Tom Slingsby and the Bonds Flying Rouge, the overall leaders on the season right now after 5 events, and they have put themselves dead even with US SailGP. So it's Tom Slingsby and Taylor Canfield going head-to-head here on leg 3 of 7 in race number 2.
They should be good here for me.
Yeah, dead even in theory, but tactically, it's the Bonds Flying Rouge who have the right of way. So the US are going to look to get round the front if they can. They've got a 5-second gap and they're just stretching out. A little bit more breeze there. And look at that top of the wing. Nearly 4 kilometres an hour more boat speed on that US boat.
Not just that, they were sailing a bit of a better angle up the course there, weren't they? So perhaps they're sailing into a little bit better pressure here. Quite a close moment here between the Brazilians and the Australians.
That's going to be a penalty there. That was a blatant foul. They had to keep clear. They did not have the right of way. Huge penalty on Mubadala there.
Oh, that's going to cost them a huge amount.
This is the umpire's penalty. Brazil, port tack boat not keeping clear. Go behind Australia.
Yeah, pretty clear one. Not the hardest decision that the umpire booth will have to make all day here. Right-hand side of screen, we see Emirates GBR are moving up through the fleet. They've got to keep clear of the French, though. Tight cross there. I think they're okay.
Working up, going under.
So tight in the middle. Look at this, in the middle of the pack, and it's Red Bull Italy that have really done a nice job working their way through the fleet here.
Down. 2.
Phil Robertson, their driver, match race world champion in 2016. He's driven for China, Spain, Canada, and now he finds himself driving for Red Bull Italy with Jimmy Spithill as the CEO.
All the way through. on, bearing away.
Artemis trying to sneak round. They're going to fall off the foils, but they've saved a lot of distance. Can they rebuild and get out foiling in front of that German team? It could be a big gain for the Swedes if they
look
do.
at this.
Oh, it just shows you how much faster you are when you're up in foiling. They just shot straight through the disturbed wind of Artemis. They're clear on that German boat. Big gains.
Emirates GBR trying to work their way up through the field. They currently sit in 10th place, one spot behind Artemis. It is still the U.S. team out in front. Red Bull Italy sits in second, and the Australians trying to bounce back, currently in third.
And turning up.
Look at the Australians. Bonds Flying Rouge, absolute hammer down. Looking like they're going to be up to second here. There does seem to be more wind towards the top of our screen there where those boats went. So that's a big thing to look out on this upwind leg. How do you get back there to that more wind? Should be good for the Italian team at this bottom gate.
Hit it, Semi. Heading around us.
Look at that turn.
See how that breeze being up just that little bit more, really affecting how you'd have to sail the boat as well.
Tight moment for Rockwell. That was close. I think they're just about okay there, but they've really pushed it on the German team.
Okay, oh shit.
Oh, no! They lose grip and they slide up. Brilliant evasive work by Eric Heil there. Kept that German boat clear, but it's opened the door for the French and the British. They're overtaking boats easily there on that bottom mark rounding.
Apologies for a bit of industrial language there on board Rockwell, Denmark, as they had a moment for Nikolai Sehested. Great job, as Stevie pointed out, by Germany Deutsche Bank's driver Eric Kostgaard and Heil to avoid that collision.
My right.
Meanwhile, there's the shot of the entire course. It is the USA out in front, and Giles Scott and North Star Canada, they have somehow found the breeze. They currently sit in second place.
Look at that bottom right-hand corner. So hard to control the height on the boat as you round up. It suddenly got a lot more speed, a lot more lift, flew up, and then they just slid sideways. Just slow coming into that bottom turn, weren't they, Han?
Yeah, they were. And when the boat's not sailing kind of at its optimal speed, it's so much harder to control. So you want to be pushing pretty hard, but an unforced error from the Danish there.
This is gate number 5. They'll head back down, then back up, and then it'll be the left-hand turn into the finish line. It is the USA right now holding over just about a 120-meter lead over North Star Canada. But here comes Red Bull Italy. Here comes the Bonds Flying Rouge. Stevie, they're going to have to hit this one and get it just right.
Yeah, well, the US team have got a decent lead here, I'd say, but for Canada, Australia and Italy, it's really, really close. And looking at the leaderboard there, left-hand side, GBR all the way up to 6th. Big, oh, that surely was a penalty there. Should be a position switch, I'd say, for that. Looked like the Aussies had to move out the way.
Bearing away. Big coming. Turning.
So making their way down, still the U.S. on top, 15-second lead over the Bonds Flying Rouge, who are moving at a quick pace. Look at the speed. The Bonds Flying Rouge touching 70 kilometers an hour. The Americans slowing down to 54. So will they be able to reel them in as we have more tight crossings out on the Hudson?
Yeah, Artemis had to get that right, just snuck across in front there. They did not have the right of way. Australia and Canada did switch places there. That penalty was quickly evaporated on the Canada team, but North Star are going to have a potential shot at the Aussies down here. They're going to be coming in with the right of way, and it's really, really tight on the racetrack.
Here we go, coming up on the final gate, then the left-hand turn to the winner's circle, and it is Taylor Canfield and the US SailGP team looking good as they make this final maneuver.
I mean, they've sailed brilliantly, haven't they? Brilliant start in both races by Canfield, and then they've executed nicely around the course.
So under the watchful eye of Lady Liberty, it is US SailGP that claims the win in race number 2 in New York City. And it looks like the Bonds Flying Rouge, Stevie, are going to do just enough to finish in second.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good recovery. They'll have a shot of things going into this final race, and we know how Slingsby loves just a chance. Canada here, they need to get across the line. They've got a penalty.
Ooh. I don't think they're going to get it done, are they?
Well, I think they just need to lose to the Italian boat. So there you go, penalties off. They drop back to 4th. That'll be costly for the North Star Canada there. Emirates GBR up to 6, big gain.
Yeah, they were way in the back of the pack. So the team that wins race number 1 finishes 6th, one spot behind Brazil, who finished in 5th.
Good recovery.
The points are going to be crazy going into this last race. It's going to be so tight. I think it almost makes it easier because you've just got to sail your own best race as we look ahead for this next one. But the US team, wow, they're in a strong position.
So Artemis currently sitting somewhat consistently, Stevie, a 3rd and a 7th. So it's going to be a big 3rd race for them as DS Team France will come in 8th.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a big third race for pretty
Everyone,
much everyone out there, to be honest. It's so close. A lot of teams have been fairly up and down the leaderboard.
Sorry.
So US SailGP wins race number 2, a big moment for them on home waters. We check in with their driver, Taylor Canfield. Taylor, great race for you guys. It seemed like you picked the start, the perfect position. It looked a little sketchy early, and then everything opened up for you.
It felt like we have pretty. The team's doing a great job in the timing and the accelerations when needed. Really tough conditions, so tough to sail the boat with the big wings and the puffs, and the team's doing an awesome job.
How much do you think it helped you being out on the water yesterday, Taylor? Has that made a difference?
Yeah, I think that's a huge gain for us. You know, we're lucky to have that, that opportunity to get out here in the city and race in front of the group and the home crowd. You know, it's awesome being out here, and we got a grip for the tide yesterday, and big factor today. So. But yeah, it's race by race, and things are changing quickly, so we're just keeping our head out.
TC, appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck in race number 3. Let's take a look at the highlights from race number 2. Again, a great start. Hannah, watch the Americans come out of nowhere and then find that window.
Yeah, they got their time and distance absolutely perfect. And I think the rest of the fleet probably just underestimating the effect of the tide, just pushing them a little close to the line, which means they don't have any space to accelerate. It was actually Mubadala, Brazil, who had a really nice angle from the start line, putting them hot on the heels of the US SailGP team by Mark 1.
Yeah, and then they used that. They kept it simple, both those two boats, so they managed to get away. And we just see as soon as you're in the pack, it's hard to keep the speed up here. We see the Swiss boat, they get round, they've got the right of way. They just stayed clear, but back in the pack, you can just so easily find yourself stuck with another boat. You don't have the right of way, and you lose a lot of places around the racetrack. It was Emirates GBR and the Bonds Flying Roos, the big movers in that race, giving themselves a shot going into this third and final race in the race to the final.
Yeah, and I think we heard a little bit of a comment about some board issues on Denmark there, but they're going to have to be tidier than that.
So Emirates GBR wins race number 1. The Americans win race number 2 as we take a look at the Emirates fly time in race number 2. And once again, the Americans, Stevie, nearly perfect, 99.8%. Come on.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Hans Henken clearly on good form. They look fast on the US boat today. They're going to be happy looking at this last race.
And if we have a look at the statistics from that race, with the US SailGP team coming away with the win, they managed to keep it at the shortest distance. And for me, flight time on a day like today is a really important number. We can see that kind of dropping down as we get through the fleet. If you're in the pack, it is super hard to stay up on the foils. And if you're not foiling all the time, keeping that stability is going to be even more difficult. So very tricky day for racing these boats. If you can get it ahead, it is much, much easier.
So 2 races down, 1 more to go before the event final, where only the top 3 teams will compete as we get a beautiful look at the southern tip of Manhattan. And here's how it stands right now with 1 race to go. US SailGP team, the most consistent with a 2-1 on top with 19 points. Emirates GBR and Red Bull Italy. But there's 1 more race to go with 10 points up for grab. Stevie, I got to think North Star, I got to think Artemis, Bonds Flying Roos, even Team France still have a shot at this thing.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of teams, all the way down to Mubadala, really. I mean, mathematically, you've got no problem if you're the Swiss as well. So there's anyone really can go out, try and win the race. They're going to give themselves a big shot at the final. You can't really be fighting other boats, I'd say, in this one.
So Hannah, if you were a betting person, who would you like on this one with 1 more race to go?
I think we can't really bet against the US in these conditions. I think their starting strategy has been working really perfectly. As long as they can get that time on distance right. They've been helped out a little bit by the fleet being early, but if you can get some space, get away at Mark 1, it is just yours to lose from there.
We are excited for the 3rd and final fleet race here at the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix. It'll be the 3rd and final race for the fleet on Super Sunday, and then we will have the all-important event final. So here in the 2026 season, we have 1 more stop in North America after New York City with a visit to Halifax, Canada. Then the league heads to Europe for the summer leg of events. But SailGP is already shaping up a blockbuster calendar for next year in Season 7. And the lineup features some brand new iconic venues.
SailGP has just unveiled its preliminary 2027 calendar, and it's shaping up to be the biggest, fastest and most ambitious season yet. 13 epic events across the globe, kicking off in January with an historic first ever stop in Hong Kong.
This is going to be sailing like you've never seen it before. It's really close to shore, so we're in right by the old airport at Kai Tak. Boats up on the foils, flying around, close racing, exciting, so people are going to love it.
By February, the fleet heads south for the return of the Australia Sail Grand Prix in Perth. Then spring brings the high-speed North American swing. We hit San Francisco in April, the turquoise waters of Bermuda and Halifax in May, and the iconic New York skyline in early June. Midsummer sparks the European tour. July brings the roar of the home crowd to Portsmouth, UK. Before heading to Sassnitz, Germany in August. September turns up the heat in vibrant Valencia, Spain for the first time on the tour, followed by a highly anticipated return to Italy, this time in the magnificent capital, Rome. The final stretch takes us to South America for the Rio de Janeiro Grand Prix in October, before landing in the Middle East in November. It all builds to the spectacular Championship Grand Final in late November or December for the multi-million-dollar showdown.
So 2027 is shaping up to be another amazing tour around the world with SailGP. Back here in New York City, the celebrities have turned up to watch the world's best sailors, and taking in the action on day one was Hollywood heavyweight none other than Ewan McGregor. McGregor joined the Emirates GBR team as part of his preparations for an upcoming transatlantic sailing adventure, which will be documented in the series True Wind.
You want me to cross the boat? I'd like to try, but Ben was saying don't cross the boat. My only worry, I suppose, is when I'm getting in here that I fall over there.
Here we are, locking in. Little go on the wheel. Have a little steer. Nice and smooth, 2 hands. That's it. A bit of weather help to keep pressing down a bit.
It's like an extraordinary adrenaline rush, isn't it? It's so fast, and you realise immediately that you've got no idea what you're doing on there.
Hold on. Ready? Hey, happy to go across?
And so the first run across the nets is like, I was like, okay, here we go. I don't know.
I'm still impressed. How was that?
Oh my God.
That's sailing, mate.
That is
sailing,
amazing.
mate.
I've never done anything like that before. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming.
That was intense.
And we are just moments away from the third and final fleet race of the day before the event final. Let's check in with Lisa Darmanin, who's standing by with the Canadians.
Giles, it's obviously a bit bumpy out here, super gusty. How tough is the racing?
It's tough. I mean, we're unfortunately we're probably on the wrong wing again. But I think it's making the racing pretty difficult. Sailing these boats with the big wing on, we're losing the forestay, losing the jib, the platform's wobbling all over the place. So yeah, it is difficult out here, but you know we're plugging away. We're making inroads, hoping for a good third race.
Yeah, you guys are definitely in the hunt. What do you need to do this race to get in that final?
I've got no idea what the points are, to be honest, but I'm sure if we have a good race, we'll be well in the mix. So that's the focus.
All right, good luck, Giles.
So it all comes down to this one race where only the top 3 teams, the top 3 point getters, will face off in a winner-take-all one race with just 3 boats out on the Hudson. Stevie, the day has turned out to have some great conditions, and we are set to go 1:12 away from the start of this third race.
Yeah, I mean, it's been some seriously tight racing if you don't get away at the start, and it's all about lining up this next 30 seconds as you head back to the line.
All right, Hannah, we've seen all kinds of strategy in this one. As we take a look at the standings on the left side of your screen, remember, only the top 3 points are moving on. Where do you want to be for this start?
Well, I think you want to be going fast, and I think you want to be close to the line. I think if you're in the pack, it's really difficult. So if you can get ahead, then your life's going to be much easier. But you cannot be trying to manage other boats. It's going to be all out to try and win this race.
I sure like what the U.S. did last time, Stevie. They found a window. I don't know if you can count on that every time, but they found that window at the last moment and just shot right through.
Yeah, I mean, you judge it by knowing where you want to be at a certain time, and you see where the fleet's going to be. We're in the pack this time. What's Canfield going to do from here?
And ready, swing in here. 7.
One, and coming down.
Under 20 seconds to go until the start of the third and final fleet race of the day, and then it's the event final. Where do you want to be, Stevie Morrison? Put me in the right spot.
I like where the Bonds Flying Roos are at the moment, if they can get the acceleration correct. Italy and Switzerland at the bottom of the line are going to struggle to keep themselves back on the start line. All about acceleration now.
Good pressure in 5.
Oh, brilliant by Eric Kyle. There's going to be a pile-up in the pack there. Wow.
Oh, look at that.
No, we've had a big pile-up.
Collision.
Oh, that's 3
Big
boats.
collision.
Early start penalty, Switzerland.
Oh, no.
Oh, the Italians were trying to keep themselves back behind the line. I don't know if they didn't see each other or what happened there.
Oh.
But those boats coming in have got to keep clear of Italy, even though they were going at a fairly bizarre angle to stay back behind the line. That's disastrous for those teams.
So it's Red Bull Italy, the USA,
mix.
and Mubadala Brazil.
It's going to be really costly for the US team. What a painful moment there. And the Germans, they lead at Mark 1. They stretch away. Bonds Flying Roo, well, Slingsby does deliver when there's pressure. He's moved out in front. North Star Canada well placed. Those 3 boats to the left of our screen, well, we'll find out there. Hopefully, there's been not too much damage and no injuries on board those boats, but we'll get that back to you as soon as possible.
Safety crew is racing there as we speak. We'll get a report from Lisa Darmanin as soon as we get it. Meanwhile, the Rolex Sprint leader goes the way of Germany. Deutsche Bank, Eric Coastguard, and Highland, his squad out in front. Second place belongs to Rockwell, Denmark, and the Bonds Flying Roos in the mix yet again, and this really opens the door up for a team like North Star Canada and Giles Scott.
And rolling up in 10.
Yeah, it does, and I think the fleet's kind of lining up a little bit more to take this left turn, so it'll be interesting to see who's the first boat to split away here.
Rolling up.
Probably North Star are going to still be able to go straight. I'd imagine it'll be Rockwell. They might have a little look at taking that right turn. No, they're going to keep it simple as well. So probably back in the pack, it'll be the Artemis team that will take the right turn. They've got to make things happen, but it looks like a big gain. There's a lot of extra distance to take the right turn, but you will have clear winds, you will have space. There you go, Outridge takes it. He's got himself out of the traffic jam. That's a positive, but he's done a bit of extra distance to get there. Can they keep the speed on as we see them in front?
We're getting news, Stevie, that everyone's okay, no serious injuries down on the water. That's the good news, but those boats do not look good. And we're hearing that the U.S. team has been disqualified. So there's the collision. Red Bull over the top of the U.S. SailGP team, and Mubadala Brazil, ooh, just brutal.
Yeah, I think probably the US team just couldn't see what the Italians were doing. The Brazilians were the real meat in the sandwich there, and they had nowhere to go because the US didn't keep clear. If that's why the US have been disqualified, then it will have been they shut the door on the Brazilians keeping clear. Oh, that's such a shame. They were sailing so well.
So that changes everything on the event standings. Remember, it's only the top 3 teams, so Canada looks good. Australia, of all teams, Hannah, are now back in the mix with Emirates GBR. And, of course, Spain unable to race today because of hydraulic problems. So it's a free-for-all on who wants to take this event title.
Yeah, that's kind of blown the fleet a little bit wider open, hasn't it? So if it stays as it is currently, we're going to have Canada, GBR, and Australia through to that event final.
Now the situation is this, Stevie. How do you avoid all the wreckage that's on the course right now?
Well, I mean, you can see it, you'll know it's there, your coach is telling you, so you've just got to avoid that part of the course. But yeah, it does tactically limit where you can go.
This is the umpires. Penalty Germany, not giving room at the boundary. Go behind Australia.
Here we go, replay. You see the Italians turn up to try and avoid being over the start line, but they don't have any room, the Brazilians and the US team, to keep clear. And they just sail straight into him. On board the back of the US boat here, we can see, there you go, the Italians turn up, Brazil are coming in, but it's as if the US just haven't seen them. So they're going straight, but they've got to turn right. They're the windward boat, they're the boat nearer the wind. They've got to turn up and keep clear. On board Italy, too early back to the start line. Big rotation up from Phil Robertson, but he has still got the right of way here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a big pile up there.
Don't mind.
Meanwhile, the racing continues on. Giles Scott and North Star Canada have taken control of this one. The Bonds Flying Roos sit in 3rd place with Nikolai Sandstedt and the Danes in 2nd. Let's check in down on the water. Lisa, what did you see on that incident, and what is happening now as far as the conditions and the racing?
Yeah, obviously it was really scary to see that happen. You never want to see boats collide, but yeah, Italy was just way too early, came up really quickly with not giving a lot of time for the other boats to avoid, but obviously they needed to know that Italy was there. So yeah, really tough to see. Brazil's been able to separate, and they're just trying to separate USA and Italy at the moment. In terms of the racetrack, it's still patchy, challenging out here, and it's shifting around a lot, so the angles that the boats are sailing is quite wide. But yeah, Canada's looking pretty strong out there. Australia also, this will be a really... But it's a battle. Out here, it's nobody's safe at the moment with how gusty.
Stevie, I think the thing that I guess doesn't amaze me or surprise me is at the start of the day, it looked like the Bons Flying Roos had all the worst luck in the world. They had the damage to their boat, looks like they were, and then the first race they come out and finish in 9th place. You're like, oh, it's a, and somehow Houdini Slingsby's had a chance to pull himself into it as the Emirates Woody moment goes the way of North Star Canada. Giles Scott, when he needs it most, gets the win. It'll be Denmark, Rockwell Denmark finishing in 2nd, and the Bons Flying Roos will take 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, Slingsby does deliver when he's under pressure, and you know, you can only control what you can control. So the boat was obviously a problem. They had a bit of distraction, very bad start in the first race, but yeah, I mean, you've got to admire the reset because that's just, well, that's what a world-class competitor does, and I'm pretty sure in that race to the final, they're going to have snuck themselves back into another final this year. They've just been on fire. You wouldn't bet against them either, would you?
No. Emirates GBR will take 5th place. DS Team France will go 6th, and Explore Switzerland will finish in 7th place. That leaves Artemis on the outside looking in. They will finish in dead last and 8th because Spain was unable to sail. The US, Italy, and Brazil all had a collision.
Did it hang on to it?
That was just so tight. What I think we should be talking about, I mean, obviously that incident's going to take a lot of the headlines, but North Star Canada, they've had a really tough start to the season. There were some real signs of recovery in Bermuda, and they've sailed well, and when they got in the lead in that race, they were able to deliver. So if they can get themselves to Mark 1 in the lead, I don't see why they can't come away from this with a win, which would be massive for their season. Here we go, Oracle Cloud. That gives us the race to the final. US SailGP team, well, we'll see if they end up with a few more penalty points, might drop them further down than those points show at the moment, but Emirates GBR, Bons Flying Roos, it's a pretty stacked final.
So the teams now will get a moment to hydrate and get ready because it is now down to the event final, and we go down to the winners of race number 3. It is Giles Scott and North Star Canada. Giles, when you needed a result the worst, you got it. What a performance. First of all, what did you see, if you did it all, in the start box with the collision between the Americans, the Italians, and the Brazilians? And our apologies, we have lost Giles Scott. We'll try to reconnect with North Star Canada. What we can confirm is the Canadians are in. They have made the event final here at the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix on an abbreviated Super Sunday, and they will be joined by Emirates GBR and the Bons Flying Roos. Those will be the top 3 teams coming in. But what a way to wrap up the fleet races as we get you ready for the event final here in Manhattan. Well, Stevie, this will be the moment that everyone will be talking about on Monday. What happened in the start box? And you called it. It was very congested. We were watching Germany look like they were perfectly set up. And then all of a sudden, chaos.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the thing to remember here is everyone anticipates that all the boats will head towards Mark 1, but because Italy are early, Phil Robertson doesn't want to take the penalty for being over, so he then tries to sail the boat at a very unusual angle. He's perfectly entitled to do that. I think that's the first thing to say, Hannah. He's allowed to do that. But the US team weren't expecting it. They haven't got anyone down on that bottom side of the boat, so the vision, well, you can tell us, Hannah, I mean, you've been on board these boats. The vision's really not very easy if you're not on that other side.
No, and I think it's a case of just, when you know that the fleet's going to be early, you've got to have someone looking down there. It's kind of easy to sit here and say that, but the Italians, they're perfectly within their rights to sail up the line if they want. So really, really difficult to see that moment.
Is it safe to say, Stevie, if you get this close in the start box with everyone trying to get the line at the right time, you've got to have an escape route when it goes bad?
Yes, a little bit, but I mean, the US did have an escape route. To be honest, they plainly didn't see the Italian boat. That's all that's happened there, and understandably, but equally, it's still with them in the fold.
So the 3 fleet races are now complete, and we can confirm that it is Canada that wins race number 3, and that win propels them into the top 3 in the top spot with 23 points. Emirates GBR finishes in 2nd, and the Bons Flying Roos, despite a 9th place finish in race number 1, Stevie, they come back with a 2 and a 3. And Slingsby Houdini has done it again. He's got himself in. They were actually tied with the US SailGP team, but they were disqualified, so they get that spot. So it is Canada, Emirates GBR, and the Bons Flying Roos into the final.
And if we took another look back at that start, this was the moment of the race, really, unfortunately. So we can see all the boats are quite early for the start, particularly Red Bull Italy, and they just started to sail up the line to make sure that they weren't too early. There was a lot of traffic to windward of them, and it's those boats who've got to keep clear of the Italians at this point, and just not quite enough visibility on those boats to see and take avoiding action, leading to this big collision here on the start line.
think what I hadn't seen there was North Star. We're only just up from the US team, so tight moment. But yeah, unfortunate for the US team. Really been sailing well up until that point. But yeah, Mark 1, Germany stretched away. North Star were back in fourth at this point, so really encouraging signs for the Canadian team that they've got some boat speed. They made one gain on this downwind, found a bit of space on the upwind, and Giles Scott put the hammer down, and we haven't seen that this season, Hannah.
No, we haven't, and I think it's really encouraging to see that when they got ahead, they managed to stay ahead. It was quite a quick race, this one, with just 2 laps, but you know, you've got to take the wins when you can, and the pressure was on for them to do well in this race with the points being so tight, and so really pleased for them to make this final.
And in the end, it was North Star Canada that gets the Emirates winning moment as they punch their ticket into the final. Well, 3 fleet races are now complete. The fans inside the Accor Premium Lounge are enjoying everything on a beautiful day to go sailing on the southern tip of Manhattan. What a race, and we are now set for the all-important event final. That's coming up next.
Mubadala and SailGP making waves together.
And back in New York City, as they try to get the American boat off the water, we get ready for the event final, which is coming up in just over 8.5 minutes. As we try to go on board Race HQ, as you see the fans there inside the Accor Premium Lounge. We got Vela Beach, we got the Adrenaline Lounge. Stevie, who doesn't want to be there as we now go inside Race HQ? Joe Glanville, the head coach of Team Canada, the North Star Canadian team that is now in the final. Joe, if you can hear us, take us through that last race, and what were you saying to Giles Scott, especially in the start box?
Yeah, trying to say as little as possible, really. There's quite a lot going on. All around him, but yeah, they managed to steer clear of trouble somehow and get clear and sailed a really nice race, got in phase, so yeah, great.
I think it'd be fair to say from our side of things, it's not been the start to the season you'd hoped for. How does it feel now? You look fast in that race. A win here would be massive, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, it's great. You know, I think we sailed a lot better in Bermuda, and it was good to take those steps, and you know, everyone was frustrated not to be out sailing yesterday, so super fired up for today. And yeah, it's nice to see them sailing well, sailing the wind well, and boat looks fast, so that's great.
Joe, obviously your team is focused on this next race and the massive 10 points that would come along with it. You guys are currently sitting in the top 10 position overall, but knowing what comes up next in your home event in Halifax, you got to feel like this is a great opportunity for a momentum shift and things to turn for North Star Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll go. It's been a while since we've been in a final race, so we'll enjoy the experience and really go for it.
Joe, appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck for North Star Canada here as we approach the event final here in New York City.
Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye.
Mubadala and SailGP making waves together.
Waves crash underneath, sound like thunder speaking. Flying carbon machines, driven by the world's best. Yes, powered by nature, we are SailGP.
Beautiful day in New York City. Day number 2, Super Sunday at the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix, part of the Rolex SailGP Championship, alongside Stevie Morrison, Hannah Diamond, and Lisa Darman, and I'm Todd Harris. Glad to have you with us, the folks taking in the world's best sailors here out on the Hudson as the league has returned to New York City for the 4th time in 6 years. And this is how it all breaks down. It will be the Bonds Flying Rouge who are the overall leaders after 6 events. Then it is Canada, North Star Canada into the final again. And the defending champions from last year, Emirates GBR, that'll be battling it out. Right now we're able to go down on the water once again, reconnect with North Star Canada and their driver, Giles Scott. Giles, congratulations. You guys are into the event final. My apologies, we're going down to Australia, the Bonds Flying Rouge. We'll check in with Tom Slingsby. Tom, you're back in another final. Tell us how you felt after race number 1 when you guys finished in 9th place and were having issues on board after that underwater collision.
Yeah, we're scrambling. We've been scrambling all day today. We're really happy to have made the final after a tough start. Yeah, here we go. It's tough conditions out here, so we just got to try to put it together and sail a clean race.
Last couple of events, you've kind of had a chance. You've been out in front. You've seen the course with a bit of space on it. Like you say, you've really scrambled your way into the final here. Does that mean you're not as well prepped for a 3-boat race?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anyone's feeling super confident and prepped right now. Yeah, we didn't have a good warm-up, that's for sure. We hit something and we've had a bit of damage, but boat's feeling okay at the moment, and yeah, we just got to try to execute here.
Tom, wish you the best of luck. We will see you or talk to you hopefully at the end of this next race. The Bons Flying Rouge, the overall leaders after 5 events here in Season 6 as they get ready for another event final. Tosh Bryant standing by with him. The 5 people on board. It'll be interesting as we now bounce over to Emirates GBR. The British, they are the defending champions from last year. Had a great day out on the water yesterday, but today a different story. They came out and won race number 1, and of course they finished in 6th and then 5th. So Dylan, you guys come into the final, and that's the most important thing. You make it into this one-off. What has to be spot on here when you get in the start box with this race between the Canadians and the Australians?
Yeah, great for the team to bounce back and get in the final, but from here it's just give it everything in this start, all guns blazing, and see how we can, whether or not we can roll the dice and it come off.
Dylan, appreciate the time. You, Hannah, the rest of the crew, get ready. We look forward to seeing you guys out in the start box. So we are just moments away, under 4 minutes, as Sir Ben Ainslie looks on. The most decorated Olympic sailor in British sailing history. He's probably got a thought or two, Stevie, in his mind right now he'd like to tell Dylan.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's a realistic person. He knows you can't win every one of these, but equally he is a winner, so he will have been involved in the reset they've had to do in the last few events. And, you know, he's used to winning things, as we say, but so's Dylan, so's Hannah. They'll be fired up for a big race here.
I think it's really interesting we hear the sailors say it's really difficult conditions. They've got the big wing on, 27.5 metre wing, just 5 people on board. There's quite a variation in wind speed from one race to the next. So if the breeze is up, there's plenty of power on board. How you manage that is going to be really important. And especially with more space on the course, you're going to have to execute so perfectly, as well as getting the best boat speed you can. So this is going to be a very different race, and I think none of the sailors are going to be that sure of how it's going to play out at the moment.
Yeah, just press forward here a bit, guys. But the main one is if this ride
They all look quite a long way away from the start line here, Todd. Like you say, just 3 minutes to go, and they've got a bit of work to do there.
That gives us time to check in down on the water with Lisa Darman. And Lisa, everyone wants to know what are the conditions going to be like for the next 15 minutes on the Hudson.
Well, it's getting gustier and gustier. I think in general it might have died off a little bit, but it's sort of been coming and going all day. So, you know, by the time they get to Mark 1, the breeze could be in again. As you said, yeah, I'm quite surprised. They're quite far away from the start line, but where the start line is the lightest part of the racetrack. So maybe they're going to take a different approach with just 3 boats and try get on the foils and approach them a different way. So, yeah, I mean, this final is going to be super tough. The thing that I'm seeing is the wind's changing direction quite a lot, and I think that's changing the game more than we think.
All right, thank you, Lisa. 2:12 now to go before the start. This is the event final here at the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix, part of the Rolex SailGP Championship. It will be Australia, Canada, and Great Britain that will battle it out for top honors. Remember, 10 season points to the winner. The Bons Flying Rouge already have a 10-point cushion, Stevie, over Emirates GBR, who sit in second place. Los Gallos unable to compete here because of hydraulic issues. They're in third. US SailGP, they had a tough last race with the collision there in 4th. But for Canada, this is going to be a huge opportunity. They are currently 10th overall as we take a look at the Emirates lineup.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive moment for them to make a move, but Dylan Fletcher, Stuart Biffle, you know, they're a new partnership there in the driver wing trimmer role. New this season. They've done a lot together in other boats. They've won Olympic gold medals together, but I think they've had a great start. They've perhaps been under pressure, so they're going to be looking for a good result. But yeah, I think the team that really got the pressure on them, despite this being their best result of the season already, is going to be Giles Scott's North Star Canada, because they've just not performed as they did, and if they can get a win here, suddenly they're mid-table, suddenly we're talking all the right things about them.
And as we said, their next event is coming up. They will host the next event on June 20th and 21st. That will be the Canada Sail Grand Prix, Halifax, and George's Island. So we look forward to that as we come up on 1 minute to go before the start of the event final.
Stand by.
We have a look at that graphic. I think we know who the favourites are.
Yeah.
They've won a lot of these events. They've done 54 events and they've won 18 of them. I mean, they know how to win the Bons Flying Rouge.
So here we go. This is the calm before the storm out on the Hudson. With 42 seconds to go, where do you want to be, Hannah Diamond?
Where do you want to go?
Well, I think this next part is going to be really crucial. That turn back to the line, how they accelerate. Looks like the Australians are taking an early turn back. They look to be in controlling position at the moment.
Yeah, North Star, they're out the back of the box at the moment. They're going to look to wind up and find a gap through. They'll be able to get foiling first, but can they find space? Slingsby's going to match that turn, I imagine, here. Australia have got to accelerate well. North Star not foiling. Campbell James says they're racing. If they're racing, they're already late on board the other teams. North Star are firing in here on the foil. 9 seconds to go. All the teams look late to me, but North Star right now are well positioned on the inside. Can Emirates GBR come in fast? I don't think so. They're going to be late. Oh, the Bonds Flying Roo crossed the line first. Brilliant start by Slingsby, but tactically the advantage with Scott. Can he control the situation? It looks like they're going to need to be really fast because that Bonds Flying Roo boat has got more wind, better angle, and rolling over the top. The Bonds Flying Roos are going to lead again at Mark 1. Heard the British wanted to be up the line, so clearly it was a very fast angle from the upwind end of the line. Because Emirates GBR, they were late, but they've nearly rolled over the top of all the other teams here.
At mark number 1 at the event final in New York City, it's the Bonds Flying Roos out in front. Emirates GBR sits in second, and North Star Canada tucks into third.
I've seen that left turn be pretty strong in the previous fleet races, so it'll be interesting to see if they all want that left turn or if someone's happy to split away and take a bit more of a gamble.
You've got to think, if you're in an Australian boat, you're going to take it. You've got to think Emirates GBR will follow, and you've got to think North Star will split and try and find more space. I imagine North Star are going to struggle to get down to it from where they are on the track, so expect to split down here. But the Bonds Flying Roos, they've not been out front all event. We look up in the Oracle Cloud. They're not going badly there, are they? 40 miles an hour, 65 kilometres an hour. They've got a boat speed advantage as they head into Gate 2.
So as they approach the DP World Gate, gate number 2, it is the Bonds Flying Roos out in front. Emirates GBR sits in second as they spin it around in front of the fans on Governor's Island.
Wow, Emirates GBR's poker face was pretty good there. He split at the last moment. It was too late for the Bonds Flying Roos to be able to cover that off. We've got to split. Now it's about where is there more wind on the racetrack. Has Dylan Fletcher seen that little bit more wind that's going to send them up the racecourse faster?
Your heel. Yeah, stand by. Down.
There we go, the wind speed's pretty similar, but there's more wind on the Australians, so more wind should mean advantage Slingsby.
It's a pretty big split across the course here, isn't it, Stevie? Those boats cannot control what's happening on the other side of the course. They know that they're going to have to sail as fast as possible and at the best angle to try and give themselves the best chance.
I think what they know is on that first manoeuvre out of a bottom gate, if you go as wide as possible, you then open up the course tactically later on. So you're like, okay, I'm rolling the dice a little bit here, but that's going to give me a chance to control things further on. This is a big moment. Does Slingsby turn in front of Emirates GBR, try and shut the door, or does he think he's going to find more wind wider?
Go here, stand by.
He's let the door open for the British here. Oh, that's a big moment. It's all going to depend on if they can make the next gate. I was surprised there, Hannah. I thought Slingsby might have tried to shut the door on Emirates GBR then.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange position to manoeuvre there. I mean, I wonder if they... Yeah, so they are quite far, kind of up the course. They will be able to make that right turn, but to me, they've gone too far.
Emirates GBR look like they're going to make it as well, so Slingsby could have turned sooner, could have shut the door maybe on the British there. Fletcher's found a way through.
So here we go. It's Emirates GBR. They will opt for that right-hand side. The Bonds Flying Roos yield first place to the Brits. So it's Emirates GBR in first. The Bonds Flying Roos of Australia in second. And here comes North Star Canada. It looks like they are going to split the course.
They are, but they've got really slow. They've fallen off the foil, so they're losing a lot of distance here, the Canadian boat. The race for the win here is between Australia and Great Britain. We've said that a few times before, but on that upwind leg, I'm not sure if it was more wind. I think it was just that the British managed to minimise manoeuvres. They got all the way to the boundary early, got to the next gate with no more manoeuvres, and that's turned into a 50, 60 metre lead.
Wow, you talk about what Lisa said. It's kind of patchy out there. The Canadians, sailed into a pocket of no wind. Now it's picking back up as they are approaching 60 kilometers an hour, but look at the loss, 200 meters to the Bonds Flying Roos, and it is Emirates GBR with about an 80-meter lead.
Yeah, I think for North Star, it's going to rely on something unthinkable between those first two boats, really, to get themselves back in it. Fletcher made a gain by going right at the bottom last time. What does he do here? Looks like he's going to have to go left.
Copy black, and 2 on board.
What do you reckon, Hannah? Right turn for Australia?
Well, they're going to have to do 2 manoeuvres to get down there, but it's a long way to that left turn from where they are now.
2, 1.
Yeah, that's a complex manoeuvre, but they've done a lot of time in the boats, the Bonds Flying Rouge. They're the team that can execute that. Beautifully done. Maybe a slight gain to the Australians on that downwind, but now it's all about, is it a gain to Australia? That's where the British made a gain last time. So Australia's going back to the favoured sides of the course. Can they make it work for them?
So Stevie, strategically, the Bonds Flying Rouge and Tom Slingsby do what Dylan Fletcher did and stretch this thing all the way out to the boundary.
I think he's got to try and get there in one, and then he'll assess how he's coming back together with the British.
Here we go.
If he thinks he's ahead, he'll sail a normal angle. If he thinks he's behind, he'll aim at them, he'll go fast. He'll try and give them that same difficult decision. There you go, Tash Bryant. She says we've got to go behind. Right of way, Emirates GBR.
It's a gain to them on the left-hand side there, isn't it?
Big gain, but I don't know with this dip that they're having to do whether they'll be able to make it to the top gate now. I think they'll have to do another manoeuvre. Emirates GBR will do one more manoeuvre to get there.
Dylan Fletcher not making it easy for Tom Slingsby, and Slingsby turns back into it. So look at the speeds on top of the mats. It's 50 for Emirates GBR, 44 right now for the Bonds Flying Rouge. And what's interesting about this, Stevie, the last time Emirates GBR won an event, you have to go back to event 1 that started the season in Perth. They haven't won since then. Meanwhile, the Bonds Flying Rouge are trying to make it 3 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, the Bonds Flying Rouge have been almost unplayable, haven't they? But we knew Fletcher would be back. He's got that kind of quality, but they'll be desperate to take a wind here. Looks like a big angle change. Look at that big wind shift on the Australians. They're sailing nearly straight up the ladders. That's going to be making big gains, but they're going to be going slower for doing it.
It's going to get softer at the top.
Yeah, it's going to keep working the high groove.
Ian Jensen there. It's going to get softer. It's going to get less wind. Less wind means it's less easy to make that gain.
Let's go down on the water. Lisa Darmanin on leg 5 of 7. Did the Bonds Flying Rouge make the right call?
Okay, Mark's moving.
Oh, it's so hard. I think it was tough that they had to do that evasive manoeuvre and avoid the British. The British, they're coming in so fast at the moment, so even if the Australians make this turn, the British, they could slingshot around, but oh, it actually looks like the Aussies might do it here.
You can hear the happiness in that voice there.
Exactly.
I think what was incredible there, they got under 30 kilometres an hour, but Jason Waterhouse managed to keep it on the foil, so the rebuild's not been too much. Advantage Australia.
But here we go, both of them almost identical on speed as they will make their way down as they've cleared gate 5. Dylan Fletcher, the first one to turn away, trying to send disturbed wind the way of the Bonds Flying Rouge. Meanwhile, Canada out the back, and this is a battle for first and second. This is a battle for supremacy in SailGP Season 6.
It's a better manoeuvre by the British. Gain, he's going to try and get onto the wind of the Australians. If he can move forward a little bit, he'll put disturbed wind onto that Australian boat. Less wind means less speed, but right now just clearing the wind ahead. The wind's coming from slightly in front of the British boat here as they're going so fast downwind. Australia, he's losing out, but he's got control tactically. The British cannot manoeuvre from there.
How about this? We come down to the penultimate leg, leg 6 of 7, and it's man on man. It's Australia versus Great Britain. These are the two heavyweights in Season 6. Can Tom Slingsby get it done? It's going to come down to this last maneuver.
Oh, Ainsley knows it's difficult for Dylan from here. The Australians tactically got perfect control. Slingsby, wow, he was brave. He's not allowed to do that. That'll be a protest. He's forced the issue there. Surely that's a foul by Emirates GBR. It's going to go to the umpires, but it's first up on the foils, the Bonds Flying Rouge. They've got the rights on the inside. Emirates must give them space. They're overlapped. The Australians have got to keep clear. Oh, this is going to go to the umpires.
Oh, my!
This is all about how Craig Mitchell saw those two incidents.
And the Emirates winning moment for the time being goes the way of the Bonds Flying Rouge. They make it 3 for 3.
I've just heard from Chief Umpire Craig Mitchell, no penalty on either.
Oh, my word!
Wow. We often talk about the racing rules getting into the grey. That was really tight racing. Brilliant action here in New York. What a finish.
Awesome today, mate.
Tightest finish we've seen all year long, and in the end, it is the Bonds Flying Rouge that reigns supreme in New York City.
Break the New York curse.
How about that for a finish? I mean, I think the look on Ben Ainsley's face kind of said it all, Stevie. He thought they had it, but then Dylan Fletcher decides to roll the dice. Unfortunately, it came up snake eyes.
Yeah, I mean, the Aussies had control of that situation tactically the whole way. Dylan did a brilliant job of rolling over the top, making it so hard. I'm staggered there wasn't a penalty, to be honest. It looked very aggressive to me. But Slingsby, we played the game well. 3 event wins in a row. I mean, he's absolutely on fire. But yeah, what a race it was. Neither team went away.
Of 6 events this year, they have won 4 of them as they continue to pile up. They have won 3 titles. They're looking for their 4th. Let's go back and look at the highlights of this amazing event final here in New York City.
Yeah, that's right. And it was the Bonds Flying Roos who originally had that controlling position, but North Star Canada just managed to sneak underneath them. And it was neck and neck at the start line, but the Bonds Flying Roos had slightly better speed. And then Emirates GBR came back with a better angle all the way to Mark 1, making it super close for this first start of the race.
It was, wasn't it? And all day we've seen that left turn be favoured at the bottom, but the British had obviously seen the geometry of the course meant by taking the right turn, you could just do 1 manoeuvre on the upwind. They found enough wind, they did 1 manoeuvre, they dipped behind Australia, but I was surprised the Australians didn't turn directly in front of the British here. Slingsby opened the door, you don't open the door for Dylan Fletcher and Hannah Mills.
No, that's right. And I think it's a race where you're trying to force the other team to make a mistake, and that's exactly what happened here, just going a little bit too far. These sailors know the boat so well, and as the conditions were changing, it was really neck and neck until this close moment just before Emirates GBR trying to manoeuvre, forced that manoeuvre onto the Bonds Flying Roos, which came away with no penalty.
Yeah, I mean, that was so tight for me, that was. But anyway, Australia win, and I think that was the right outcome from that.
And the Emirates fly time goes the way of the winning team 100%. As the Australians get it done, perfect. But look how close this was as they came across the finish line. And the Bonds Flying Roos will claim their 4th win here in Season 6. Let's go down on the water. Emirates GBR, a great race for Dylan Fletcher all day long. They were in the mix. Of course, they won race number 1. They finished 6th, and then they wrapped things up with a 5th in race number 3, but not the finish they wanted here in the event final. Dylan Fletcher, Hannah Mills, the rest of the crew, you guys had an amazing day. Dylan, can you take us through that last mark, that last gate? What were you seeing coming from Tom Slingsby?
Yeah, I guess we felt like we got back into it, and then you know, and then unfortunately didn't quite.
Comms are on, Dale.
Oh, yeah, not on, Dale. I think the comms are on. Can you hear us broadcast?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, so I think it was just frustrating. We kind of thought that was a penalty on the Australians, so we need to look back and review it because it was pretty black and white from where we were. They weren't doing enough to stay clear.
Dylan, it was tight. You did seem to have pretty good boat speed, though, on that race to get back in it. It must be encouraging after the last couple of events.
Yeah. Team, after some difficult events, felt like, you know, we're getting back to our normal selves, and I guess right now we're just a bit frustrated, feeling like we gave it and sort of threw it away, got back into it, and ultimately I guess we left it in the umpire's hands, which is not what we want to do.
So very close. Dylan, we appreciate your time. You, Stu Biffle, everyone on the boat, congratulations. You pick up the 9 season points, so that will close the gap, obviously. Great job, and we look forward to seeing you guys in Halifax. So the Bonds Flying Roos will celebrate on the Hudson River as they will claim the top prize here. And once again, they make it 3 for 3 as they win in Rio, they win in Bermuda, and now they win in New York City in the shadows of Lady Liberty. Let's send it down on the water and Lisa Darmanin.
Tom, you broke the New York curse. It wasn't looking good yesterday. It wasn't looking good at the beginning of the race, but how good does it feel to win 3 in a row?
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing feeling. We were on the back foot all day. It just felt like we were just trying to claw our way back into the races. And then, yeah, that last race was exciting. Ended up getting away with it, a close one.
Yeah, it was right to the wire there with the British team. Just talk us through that finish. It was a bit wild.
It was a bit wild, yeah. We thought we had the rights. They thought they had the rights. Umpires ruled in our favour, and yeah, so 3 times winners. We're very happy.
And how tricky was the racing today? It just looked so challenging.
It was so tough today. That's one of the hardest days I've done sailing, probably in my life, not just in SailGP. It's just so patchy. Everything's changing. We're a bit out of range on this wing and the forecast. It was tough, but like the team just did such a good job, and our shore team just did an amazing job. I mean, I thought we weren't going to be racing. We had that many broken things and problems, and the short team just came together and got us back out there, and we owe it to them this one.
Well, you better go spray the champagne. The team's ready.
Okay, cheers.
And this is something they have a little bit of experience with, Stevie and Hannah. The champagne, as the prize giving will now progress. They'll get themselves on the other side, so all the media folks, we can get some good shots of them as they celebrate. And Homaid Al-Shamari, the deputy CEO of Mubadala, able to make the presentation as the party now will really begin.
First time we've seen them doing it on the boat, though, isn't
Yeah,
it, Todd? So
a
bit of a
challenging.
change up there for them. They look pretty happy still, don't they? You don't ever get bored of winning.
Yeah, Tash Bryant looks like she knows what she's doing, and they are ready to go.
Yeah, they are absolutely rare in there.
That was pretty cool, though. They give a shout out to the short team. I mean, they are the ones that delivered, because Stevie, as he said, and Hannah, they were dead in the water literally 20 minutes before the start of the racing.
Yeah, I think it's really easy to underestimate how much work the shore teams do. These boats cannot sail without
Here we go.
teams.
Hey, that is a veteran move by Tom Slingsby.
Yeah,
get the goggles
on. Yeah, keep yourself clear of that champagne. I mean, it's a team, they're on a roll, they're sailing brilliantly, and as I say, always with this Australian team, when they're confident, they're really, really hard to beat.
So they can celebrate out on the Hudson as they win their third race in the war, fourth of the season in season 6, and they are clearly the team to beat now in SailGP. As we take a look at the points that are awarded, remember, it's 10 points for the overall victory, 9 for second, and 8 for third. So the 3 teams that made the event final, they'll pick up top points. Bonds Flying Rouge, top honors, 10 points to add to their collection of 45. Emirates GBR, North Star picking up valuable 8 points for them. For the US SailGP team, Stevie, it was tough. Looked like they're going to make it in the final, but they will pick up 7.
Well, they do at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if that's not the last we hear of that. There'll be some protests to be done. They were deemed to be disqualified, so that could pay badly for them.
So we add that together with what we've had after 5 events, and it looks like this after 6 events. As we make the turn to Halifax, it's the Bonds Flying Rouge now 11 points clear of Emirates GBR. US SailGP team now has moved into 3rd place on 38 points. 4 points clear of Los Cayos, who were unable to sail this weekend because of hydraulic issues.
And the precision athletes of the day today, so a couple of these featuring really nicely in our final. Phil Robertson, driver, always attacking the start line. And Annie Hager from North Star Canada, she'll be super happy to make first final this season. Stu Bithell doing a great job with Emirates GBR, and Andrea Tassai from Red Bull Italy on the flight controller role.
Yeah, I mean, what a day that was for a mix of athletes making it there. Fastest speed of the day, well, that goes to the Swiss team. Really fast on that first leg to Mark 1. They couldn't quite put it together all the way around the course, but look, they had it absolutely on the edge the whole way down that leg. 83.05 kilometers an hour.
Well, next up in season 6 is a trip north of the border. For the 2nd time in league history, the great nation of Canada takes center stage. And if our first visit is any indication of what to expect, we are in for massive crowds and amazing on-water action in Halifax. Canada's home waters are calling as SailGP returns to Halifax, back and bigger than ever. The northernmost stop on the Americas circuit and the halfway point of the 2026 championship. This is where the season really heats up. The crowd will be going wild on the sweeping grandstands as the F-50s race around George's Island. Every single point matters as Canada's most thrilling summer event takes center stage. So that'll wrap things up. Stevie, Hannah, final thoughts.
Well, what a day it was today. Disappointed yesterday, but brilliant day today.
Yeah, and such close racing in the final. I think it's probably one of the closest finals we've had this season.
So that will do it from the Big Apple in New York City as we head north now. Next up, June 20th and 21st, the Canada Sail Grand Prix in Halifax. On behalf of Stevie Morrison, Hannah Diamond, and Lisa Darmanin, I'm Todd Harris saying so long for now from the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix. The Australians rule the Big Apple. Welcome to New York City. Ready to go on a Super Sunday.
Oh, Emirates GBR, beautiful. Perfect by the US team. So tight in the middle.
US SailGP claims the win in race number 2.
Wow.
Oh, look at that.
We've had a big pile-up.
Collision.
Oh, that's 3
big collision.